Whoop. Let's try and fix that a little bit. Mostly straight. Maybe a little bit back that way. All right. No, that's even worse. I keep fixing it, coming back over here, and it's worse. Also, I don't know if we're actually live right now. All right, I think that's correct. And we are live. Cool. All right. What's going on, guys? We are doing a Monday live stream from Walton's, and I am going to get some of my walleye that I was just up in Canada catching. We're going to use chicken on the run seasoning or breading, some Walton's zesty mojo seasoning. We're going to use our Better Breader batter bowl. This thing is phenomenal for breading anything. And then we're going to deep fry it in beef tallow. Now that's beef tallow from the beef that me and a few other people here split. We rendered it down. It makes awesome cooking oil. Way better than peanut oil, avocado oil, anything else. It doesn't leave you all like loggy and heavy in the stomach. It is a nice, easy thing to digest, and you can use it a few times. Now, once you do fish in it, you probably only want to do fish in it. You don't want to go from fish to chicken, most likely, but it does work absolutely great on fish. I have a Dos Equis here, so we're gonna have a good time. I also have this Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. This is a habanero garlic hot sauce, and then a teriyaki of my own making. Craig, thank you for being here. Tex, you don't know about using the mojo seasoning? I mean, it is zesty and garlicky. That is perfect for what I want, at least out of a walleye, especially one that I caught. Phenomenal fishing up in Canada. So this chicken on the run stuff is breading that we absolutely love to use on anything we're gonna deep fry. Does an absolutely great job. Obviously designed for chicken, but works really well with fish as well. There are a couple other really popular breadings on the market. I think it's called like On the Hook, something like that. It's really good, and they have a bunch of different flavors. This one we just use, and then we add whatever seasoning we want to it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add some chicken on the run seasoning. For anyone who doesn't know, this is what's known as the Better Breader batter bowl. It's got a lower compartment, a divider up here, and then a lid. So we're gonna put our breading down here. We're gonna lay out 2 fillets up here. We'll then put the lid on, flip it, shake it a few times, flip it back. All the breading that's not attached is gonna fall down, and we'll put the next ones in there. This is a great little tool that we've used for going on 7 years now, and we absolutely love this chicken on the run seasoning. We've worked with the owner of it for a really long time. Great dude and great seasoning. So we're just gonna eyeball it. We're not gonna add a ton, just a nice little pop to it. And then we'll mix that in. And because we had to bring these fish back from Canada, we had to leave a small portion of the skin attached to them, so I'll be taking that off. They do that to make sure that they can identify the species. Otherwise, you could say, oh no, I've got 20 perch, and they could all be walleye, right? They wouldn't actually know what is what. It's made in Nebraska, what? Chicken on the Run? Your hometown, since you left us and are now a Nebraskan, however you would say that. So, trying to get as much out of the way as possible. So you can see here, I've got really nice fillets. We've just got this little piece of skin attached, and we're simply gonna cut that off. I've got a Superflex boning knife from Victorinox. Makes all of that extremely easy. It's not quite as good as a fillet knife, but when I've only got it attached by this little flap, it doesn't really matter. I had a Victorinox fillet knife before the move. I don't have it anymore. Right around the time Walton came back to Walton's, we started missing some knives. Wonder what that's about. Her apartment is probably furnished with the best of Victorinox. I'm just kidding. I'm sure she doesn't need to borrow knives from us. So all I'm doing is cutting off this little bit of skin. And I've already got my beef tallow going on the Camp Chef cast iron griddle back there. So, done with the knife. I'll try and show you guys this as best I can. So we've got the little divider on top. We're just gonna take these, and you don't need to do an egg wash or anything with this. We're just gonna put 2 fillets in there at a time. Gonna make sure the lid is on well, because I have made that mistake before and created quite the mess. You'll feel it when it gets on there. Right now it is not quite on there. There it is. All right. So I'm gonna flip it over. All of that breading is going down, getting in contact with my fish. Give it a nice shake. Turn it over. Shake it back. And I have perfectly coated little fillets of walleye. There might be 2 perch in here. It looked like there were 2 perch, but when you have just this tiny little flap of skin, it's kind of hard to tell which is which. Fort Calhoun. I assume that's where Flavor Crisp, which is who makes this, is located. Their owner and CEO, I think his name's Pat, great guy. We met him randomly at Pheasant Fest one year, came up and introduced himself to us, and we had been selling his stuff just case only. And then after that conversation, we were like, oh no, we'll sell your stuff individually. So look at that. We've got really nice coated fillets. And since these are fairly thin, in Canada, our limit was 16.5 inches. You couldn't keep any walleyes bigger than 16.5 inches. So we were looking for things, in between like 14 and 16.5 inches. It's hard to catch those little ones. It's way easier to catch the big ones, because the little ones you got to pay a lot of attention to see when they're hitting on your lure or your minnow. So we're gonna shake it. And unfortunately, there's a lot moving around in my middle section when I'm doing that nowadays. Used to be nothing. And we've got nicely coated fillets of walleye. So I'm gonna bring that out, and then I'll come back and grab that camera. I've got a different audio setup so you guys can hear me the entire time now. That should be much better. I started using it last time, and we had a much better comments on the quality of the audio. Grab a quick drink of the beer. And here we go. You guys are coming outside with me. Whoop. All right, let's see how we can get this well set up so you can see my janky setup I've got going on here. I have a cast iron pan on my griddle turned all the way up. That is beef tallow in there. Let's see if we can move that so you guys can get a better view. It doesn't actually look that good. All right. I guess that's as low as it goes. Kind of feel like the chat is in the way of that. Let's see if I can, there we go, much better. All right, we want our oil somewhere around the mid 300s. And we're at 280. So it's gonna be a little bit lower, but it will absolutely work. I'm gonna grab a plate to put them on once they're done so we don't cross-contaminate. And we will get these fried. For anyone who has never been to Canada to do any type of walleye fishing or anything like that, highly recommend. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, 350 is was where we would want it, but ooh, nice. I like the Red Sox thing. Gillette, Wyoming, good walleye at Keyhole Reservoir. Yeah, Wyoming has a lot of things that I wish we had here in Kansas. And you can tell we are low there. We're in the, like I said, 290, because it's not really sizzling. It's heating up, but it's not sizzling. I don't want to overcrowd that. So because we're lower than we want to be, I mean, this has been on for half an hour now. That might be as hot as I can get this. We're not going to overcrowd that pan, and we're just going to do them, unfortunately, one at a time. Got a boring amount of sizzle going on there. Why don't you just have a propane turkey fryer burner, Camp Chef stove to use. Way too low temps for, yeah, well, this is the equipment I have available. You have to remember, I rolled into town on Thursday night or Friday morning at 2:30 a.m. and slept the entire weekend. So I don't want to hear anything from you, Tex. We are at let's still climbing a little bit. Yeah, but we're at 290 something. That's lower than what we would really want it for. Now, the nice thing is it's beef tallow. So that's better than if we were trying to use something like avocado oil, anything like that. But higher temps would be preferable. I could have used my side sear box on my Camp Chef right back there. I have that side sear box. But I wanted to try this, to be honest. Kind of wonder what would happen if I just coated it in that and slapped it on this. So we are going to have far higher temps. Not that I'm going to be able to get an accurate temp with this. You can see what that's like. That is disappointingly low. I'm going to grab a spoon, ladle some of it onto this, and we'll see if we can't fry it right on the griddle. But hey, this is part of why we do all this stuff. Figure out what works, what doesn't. Not everyone is going to be an A+. And with fresh walleye and the seasoning I'm using, even a B- is still going to taste pretty darn good. Let's push that to the back there. Let's just see what happens here. Cleanup from this is going to be fun with that pan now. No, this is, maybe the griddle is just not getting hot enough. I mean, flame is all the way up. But that does not seem like that's anywhere near hot enough here. Grab the other phone so I can actually read these texts instead of trying to come in like this and read them. A, it makes me look like a psychopath, and B, it's very difficult. Yeah, I'm topping out at 297 here, and that's only gone up like 2 degrees in the last however long. We're at 135 on our fillet. Oh, Denny suggested that I do a beer batter. That might have been even worse in this lower temperature grill or frying I'm attempting to do here. I like to be mean to you, Tex. What are you talking about? You've never known anyone in your life who is as nice to you as I am to you. Maybe your wife. Certainly not your kids. I'm way nicer to you than your kids are. Connie, I do like the Red Sox emblem you have there, or avatar, but have to admit, I've not watched a single game in 2 years now. I just don't like baseball anymore. But I am from kind of that area of the world. I went to school in Franklin, Massachusetts, and my family grew up all Red Sox fans, so let's see what this does. So putting it directly on the grill, it's getting us a little bit hotter quicker, but it doesn't look attractive or good in any sense. To be fair, I don't think the ones coming out of the oil are going to be terribly attractive. They're going to taste amazing, but oh, the smell of fresh walleye cooking is amazing. Austin, Alley, Kurt, I could go on. Wait, why did the live... Okay. Oh, those are people who are nicer to you? Come on, don't be ridiculous. None of those people have the friendship with you that I do. All right. We're at 162. I'm gonna take that out. And hopefully, it sounds like we're getting more crackling going on there. So maybe it is getting hotter. But I don't think so. That's not a promising sign when I put it in there and I don't get an extra sizzle. So, can you deep fry on a griddle? Kinda. Is it a good idea? It doesn't seem to be a good idea right now. It's not getting me any of the results that I would have hoped for. The one we put on the griddle is almost as hot as what we put in the deep fry. Steal a little bit of this. Taste, 10 out of 10. Presentation, 2 out of 10 at best. I'm being generous since I made it. Definitely needed our oil at least 50 degrees hotter. We needed to be up at 350, and I don't seem to be able to get it above 290-ish right now. So that's a major problem. But from a flavor standpoint, absolutely phenomenal. For anyone in Kansas, the best walleye I've ever had in my entire life was at a place in Fall River, Kansas. I can't believe I can't remember the name of it right now. We go shooting there every year. It is called Twin Oaks. Twin Oaks? No, that's not right. I'll think of it. But it's a little hunting lodge out there. They had walleye on the menu 2 years ago, and everybody else got T-bones, and I got the walleye. And I was the only one who was happy with my choice. Oh, we've got... I'm gonna have a talk with whoever cleaned our walleyes. We've got some bones in there for sure. Not that it's that big a deal. Walleye bones are not the end of the world. No, you cannot. Absolutely not. I'm starting to think that you might be the guy who got me to read the riddle about the trees growing and just changed your name. It was close, though. Does anyone have a freshwater fish that they like more than walleye? I'm gonna get a dipping sauce. I'll be right back. All right, so I've got 2 dipping sauces here. This is Crybaby Craig's. It's a garlic habanero hot sauce. And we're straight cavemaning this, which is absolutely freaking delicious. Oh, that is so good. But that piece is too hot. Crybaby Craig's, I'm pretty sure, is out of Minnesota, somewhere right outside of Minneapolis. And that is phenomenal. This is a little teriyaki blend of my own concoction with some sesame seeds in it. And that is delicious too. It is very different, but that is also really good. No, there's no way catfish is better than walleye. That's a ridiculous comment. And I refuse to believe that you, someone whose opinion on food things I respect quite a bit, said that. Crappie, yeah, I'll give you that. Crappie's up there. Perch is also really good. I actually just learned about something called a European perch. They grow perch like 8 pounds over there. It's ridiculous. I saw pictures of them. They look like carp. Like they have bellies like carp. My God, that's good. Should we throw another one right on the griddle? Because it doesn't seem to be making much of a difference whether it's cooked on the griddle or in the deep fryer, since we can't get the oil as hot as we want. Pike is pretty good. Let me show you a picture. So my boss and I, Allie is my boss, we had a bet on who would catch the biggest fish. Allie is 5'3", maybe? I don't know how big she is. This is gonna be weird. You're gonna get a little inception here, but that is the northern pike she caught. Look at the size. So that is a 38-inch pike that broke through the net, not once, but 2 times. Twice that thing broke through the net as we were trying to land it. She did an absolutely amazing job. Stayed perfectly calm, never threw her pole or anything like that. If I was trying to land a fish that size and it got through the net, I probably would have thrown my pole down. But she just calmly kept reeling in and reeling in. And eventually she netted it. And the funny thing is, about 2 hours before she caught it, she said, I don't care if I catch small fish, I just want to catch one big fish. And she caught that literally 2 hours after she said that. And it was a gorgeous fish. Big, fat, not pregnant, obviously, time of year, but just huge, chunker. And then I caught a 38-inch muskie that night to tie for the longest fish. So we ended up tied. I don't think either one of us is paying that bet. What I think I am going to do, though, is because I want to bet with her on hanging artwork in the other person's house for a year. I think I'm going to take that picture and do something really nice with it and then give that to her. So instead of it being like a punishment, I'm going to do something nice, which is a new phase for me. It's something I'm trying to be nice now. And I'll let her hang that in her apartment for a year. I should contact Bill and try and get the jig she used for that and do like a little, almost like a memory box, a shadow box, so she has something to remember it by. It was a great pike, and it was so much fun to watch. Like, I loved it. And then she wanted to go muskie fishing after that. So Travis was throwing muskie lines for her. She was reeling them in. And probably her 6th cast, a muskie came up, and it wanted it. It wasn't like thinking, it lunged at it. And she didn't miss, she didn't do anything wrong, the muskie missed. And so Travis, who's the great muskie guide, turned around and looked at me like, oh no. And we're like, which one of us is gonna tell her? We were talking with our eyes, like, that muskie's not coming back. And she's like, should I throw again? We're like, you can, but that thing's not gonna bite. It was done biting. For anyone looking for amazing fishing vacation opportunities, I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick. Totem Lodge up in Lake of the Woods, Canada. Absolutely incredible fishing, and the resort was really nice. We didn't have like any issues. We had some bad weather, but they took care of everything. Our shore lunch was absolutely incredible. I mean, it's hard to complain about being on an island in the middle of nowhere in Canada with nice resorts, great rooms, and then eating a shore lunch where they bring you champagne, beer, a nice potato hash. So I tell everybody that I look forward to a lot of things I get to do at Walton's every year. That's the one thing that I just absolutely adore. This Crybaby Craig's garlic hot sauce is incredible. I would like to dip pizza in that. I think that would be very, very good. Oh. Here's an interesting question. For your freshwater fishes, pike, walleye, crappie, what do you guys cook them to? I'm interested because I know there's going to be a couple of different answers here. I want to see who's on what camp. And then if anyone is interested, Onyx, the hunting map company, one of their main guys was up there with us, and they're actually starting a new show that sounds awesome. What they're gonna do is send somebody out hunting, and then they're basically gonna, like, almost a NFL halftime show. They're gonna send it back to the studio. So if somebody crosses a tree line incorrectly or makes too much noise, they're gonna critique them back at the studio. I think that's a freaking great idea. I cannot wait to watch that show. They're also gonna do, in that same show, they're gonna do ice fishing, regular angling. So it's deer, elk, big game. I think they're gonna do a little bit of upland as well. I think that has the potential to be awesome. I would love to see, if somebody was following me around videotaping my hunt, I would love to get their opinion on professionals on, like, oh no, Chris, he should not have done that. He should have done this, or this is where he should have set up his tree stand or his blind. So I think that's a a really cool thing. That's going to be an Onyx presentation, filmed and produced by our friends at Ranchera. Boy, it doesn't matter which one I use. Both this sweet teriyaki, which is just Kinder's teriyaki that I added some sesame seed oil to and a little bit of brown sugar. Both of those are phenomenal. Absolutely, Connie. Thanks for joining us. Oh, look at that. I actually did have a fork out here. I was just intentionally being a caveman. Oh. Ignore the bone and focus on the deliciousness. I guess the question is, how many of these fillets can I eat? Probably how many of them should I eat is a better question, but And having a sweet and a heat to go back and forth with is absolutely phenomenal. Cannot beat that. So if I was to do this again, absolutely I'd use something other than the Camp Chef Gridiron 360 and a cast iron pan, because it just didn't get hot enough, right? Like, it eventually got up to temperature, but it didn't reach the 350. It topped out at 290 something, and that's really not hot enough to cook our walleye correctly. It still tastes delicious, but texture is a little bit off. So we should have done it on the side sear box or gotten a turkey fryer like Tex said. Tex was right. That is hurtful text. I don't know how to respond to it other than you're mean. This Kinder's teriyaki is phenomenal. It's really good. I'm sure it's terrible for me, especially since I added extra brown sugar to it, but oh. All right, very, very little today because I knew I was gonna just house a bunch of walleye tonight. I saw something the other day of a guy saying, I think it was a Joe Rogan clip. He said the best omelet he ever made was in the microwave. Keep getting interested in that. Like, I've seen it twice now, I think. And he said he whisked it, added a little bit of butter, and used like a crystal microwave safe plate, and claimed it was the best omelet he's ever made. And I don't know who he was, but he sounded like somebody who knew how to cook at least. A little sacrilegious, but microwave has its uses. Ugh. So it must have gotten a little bit hotter because we've got a little bit more golden brown on that. It's not great, it's not perfect, but it's better than the first two we took out. I will say this though, and I don't know that I'll be convinced otherwise. I think beef tallow is absolutely the best thing to deep fry anything in. I can eat 4 5 of these fillets, and I don't get that feeling that I do when I do peanut oil. I don't do much with avocado oil, but certainly canola oil, where my stomach feels all heavy. I feel perfectly fine. So if you have the opportunity, absolutely render your own beef tallow. It is worth it. You want to use leaf or kidney fat if you can, but regular fat is okay too. So Denny, we had problems with the temperature. We couldn't get it above 290. So presentation, I gave it a 2 out of 10 earlier, and I was probably being a little bit generous, but taste is a 10 out of 10. Did Austin require you to have a garden hose hooked up? Right back there. It's not hooked up at all. Nope. No, that is one thing at Walton's I have never done. I have never started a fire, surprisingly. We probably shouldn't jinx that. Especially in a brand new facility, right? We just built this place, and unfortunately, if anyone's gonna burn it down, it would probably be me. But I would have done it with the best of intentions. I love walleye. I could eat that every day. Yes, thank you. Denny and Tex, did you guys send a text to each other before to coordinate that? Because that's exactly what Tex said I should have used. And he's right, but I honestly thought this would work. I thought the gridiron 360 would get hot enough that I'd be able to put a cast iron pan on top of it and be able to transfer enough of that heat. It obviously didn't work, but I'm still eating it and it's still good. But this stuff, we sell it, but you can find it other places as well. Crybaby Craig's. It is a garlic habanero sauce that has a really nice tang and also a good amount of heat. I'm not somebody who loves my mouth being on fire. I just want, like, you know, a nice little zing. And this does it perfectly. It's about, I would say, twice as hot as Frank's, somewhere in that range, because Frank's isn't hot. I put Frank's in my popcorn. But this stuff has some heat to it. If it was hotter out here, I'd not like it as much because I'd be sweating like crazy from eating this. We used to text, we don't anymore. We will eventually have a range in the kitchen. It just hasn't been installed yet. I don't think we're gonna have a stove in this new location, but we will have a range. So, yeah, dry breading. At some point, Denny, I saved about probably just over half of the walleye that I brought home. Maybe I'll do a 50-50 beer and breadcrumb and see which one's better. But I have to let you know, you probably saw my Meatgistics post earlier. I'm just not a huge fan of beer breading on fish. For like chicken fingers or something, I think it works okay. But for fish, I'd rather have just regular breadcrumbs. And I'm sure I'm gonna get a certain amount of hate for that. Oh, that one was way hotter. Whew. Gotta let that cool down before I take another bite of it. Whew. That burnt my mouth. Wow, that was hot. My tongue is gonna blister from that. So, I'm gonna grab a beer. I'll be right back. Whew. Where is... Oh, you guys can hear me. I have to keep that in mind. So for anyone who's been following along with our YouTube channel, you'll see in the last couple of weeks, we've released a ton of new videos, specifically on the Walton's branded seasonings. Out of all of those, personal favorite, bratwurst is the rustic French onion. Jerky is the peppery au jus. And I have to tell you guys, I took a bunch of that up to Canada and we gave it out to other people who join us as like swag. A lot of the different companies that are up there do that. And everybody absolutely was going nuts over that jerky. So once you guys get your hands on it, you're gonna hopefully love it as much as I do. And I can't wait to get a deer and put that on it. I think venison jerky with that is gonna take venison jerky up multiple levels. I'm hoping that within a year, it starts outselling our Walton's Bold seasoning. Walton's Bold is what I've used for many years now on beef, on deer, on everything. But this peppery au jus has such a good umami flavor. It literally tastes like a French dip. Like, I don't know how I can describe it better than that. The first time I opened the door, and I think the video's out there on Instagram, for our smoker, they looked just like a bunch of little mini briskets. Like they were perfect and gorgeous. And part of that is because I did it in a smoker and not a dehydrator, but not all of it. Because even the stuff I've done in a dehydrator has that really nice dark color to it. And that's just kind of what I envision jerky. You know, we make so many of these jerkies and they turn out like reddish, kind of reddish brown. This is nice and dark black, and that flavor just comes through. It is phenomenal. Walleye from Erie, nice. Lake Erie is an incredible fishery. We caught, between all of us, we caught 4 muskies while we were up in this place. I was in the boat for 3 of them. There was a 46-incher to start it off. Then the guy I was going with caught this 49-inch monster. I don't know if you guys remember the picture of my 48-inch from last year, but it was a long fish, but it wasn't anywhere near as fat as this one that Travis caught. I said it looked like a dragon. Like it came up and just, boom, and as it rolled over it, you could see how thick it was. And then I caught a 38-incher that same night. So it was an absolute blast. If anyone is looking for an awesome fishing vacation to take, Totem Lodge up in Lake of the Woods, Canada is absolutely worth it. So actually, I can't say that because I have no idea how much it costs. I wouldn't be able to afford that vacation by myself. I get invited to it through the Ron Shera guys. So not sure. I'm imagining it's probably pretty expensive. But their guides were great up there. I went with a regular guide from the resort one day. He did a great job. And then the next 2 days, I got to fish with Bill Shirk, who has his own fishing and hunting TV show. Then Travis Frank, who has his own fishing and hunting TV show. I was very, very spoiled. Very spoiled. So. All right, so we learned Camp Chef Gridiron 360, or 36, not hot enough to get our beef tallow up to 350 degrees, which is where we want to be to deep fry fish. Walleye is delicious no matter how badly you cook it, like I just did. Presentation matters, but not that much, because the flavor of what I just did is incredible. It's just the look of it's not that good. I don't think I learned any other lessons. Those are the only lessons I learned. You heard muskie tastes a lot like bald eagle. So I get annoyed every year when we go to this resort because they have a stuffed bald eagle hanging from the ceiling. And every year I say I'm going to steal it. And I would love to steal it and get it out of there. But 2 things. 1, I can't bring it back to the U.S. because you can't have a stuffed bald eagle in the U.S. And 2, it's just they don't view those animals the same way we do. Now, I do have an amazing video. I caught a little walleye, and unfortunately, the hook went through his mouth and through his eyes. So when I took it out, his whole eye came out. But he was not in our range, so I had to put him back, and he couldn't get down. He was just floating at the top. They have huge fires in Manitoba right now, so everything is smoky like crazy up there. And Travis saw this bald eagle. He's like, that bald eagle is going to come down and take that fish. And he was watching. And he came around a few times while the boat was still too close. We finally got away, and the eagle swoops down, picks it up, and flies off. It was absolutely gorgeous. And Allie got that video, so we will have that on our social media, I assume in the next couple of days. Gorgeous video. I feel terrible for anybody who's affected by those fires in Manitoba, but it made the fishing great for walleye because all the smoke gave it even more cloud cover, and walleye sit at the bottom and look up, so they like cloudy. And just everything. It was like golden hour, 24 hours a day. It was perfect. I have not sold my house yet. Nope. We did just drop the price another $25,000 though. So I'm hopeful that we're now in the right price range. We're probably still in the high end of the right price range, but I'm hopeful that something will happen soon. But I'll probably still be in that house when I go to the next year's Canada fishing trip. We have 2 stuffed BEs, bald eagles, at the Sac Walton clubhouse. So it is legal to have a stuffed bald eagle? I would think it wouldn't be. I mean, it's our national bird. I can't imagine that they allow you to stuff those, but I guess they do. Or, also, this is important, Denny, we don't admit to felonies on the internet. Just something to keep in mind. No, loan. So they're on loan to you? Yes, they're on loan to you. That should cover you. Or the ever popular, we should do this in a video game. So that one works as well. Well, we don't really have any videos, I don't think, other than some of the new Walton seasonings in the pipelines to come out. I made homemade dog food. My dog absolutely went nuts for it. So that we're going to film the A-roll for tomorrow. We did ground an entire chicken. We ground turkey legs. And because these don't get recorded, I'll tell you this here. I used the Walton's 22 grinder with the 22 one-shot, and it tore through a chicken like you can't even imagine. It didn't even hesitate. I've done it on the old one, like with the regular grinder setup. And what happens is those ball, like in sockets, like the ball portion of the end of the leg, they don't really get pushed through. They just kind of run around the back of the plate. The one shot kicked them right through. There was nothing left. Now, we're not advertising it as, hey, this will grind a chicken leg perfectly. But it 100% ground it all perfect. It didn't even hesitate. It was just... So I did that. Then I added some rice. I added some peas. I added some carrots. But then the big thing, if you make your own dog food, is you have to supplement. When we look at kibble, we're all like, oh, it's bad food. Yeah, but they add a lot of calcium. They add a lot of other nutrients that dogs need that you're not going to get just from meat. So we're not going to cover that. I'm going to cover the fact that you have to supplement, but I'm not going to tell you what to supplement because there's way too many differing opinions on there. And I don't know. So, I don't know what knuckles means. Like my knuckles? My knuckles are fine. My arm is fine too. Look at that. Just a little bump there. It's not even bad anymore. It is hard though. Like, you won't be able to tell that, but like normal, hard. So still a pretty strong contusion right there. Oh, did I pop my knuckles? Sorry, didn't mean to. I guess I do it without noticing it. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Any Walton's questions? Any meat processing questions? Anything like that? I'm constantly doing it. There's a lot of things I do that I'm not aware that I do. So if you go back a couple of podcasts, well, probably 2 months ago, I was growing just the mustache, I think, and I was doing this constantly. It wasn't until I watched it back, I was like, hey, anytime I touch my mustache on a podcast, stop me immediately. Then the next podcast, I won't tell you what, but I did something way more embarrassing, and Allie pointed it out. So now when I'm on the podcast, I'm like, hands in my lap, don't move them, don't do anything. Who's your favorite Walton? That's not that hard a question. I love Brett. He's such a good guy. I like them all, but the amount of respect I have for Brett is really up there. He is a phenomenal human being, a great owner, but Allie would be number 2. So sorry, Austin and Dylan, but Allie has jumped you guys. Hashtag fired. Why? I said Brett. Allie's here. Allie, I said you're number 2. I know you have every spice for home sausage making, but do you have a porchetta seasoning? We don't. I've not ever seen that on Excalibur's site. We can look into it. We can try and find if it's something we could access. But it's probably also the type of thing where we'd have to buy it by the case, which means we'd probably have to also sell it by the case. So may or may not be possible, but I will look into that. Ryan says, I've been very offensive today. Allie, he was mean to me, and he's supposed to be nice to me. I also did, Allie, say that Brett is my favorite Walton, and you have jumped your brothers. To be fair, not a very hard thing to jump over Austin and Dylan. It's like, oh, the stray dog I found on the side of the road. I'm just kidding. Any other questions? This is fun. So for anyone who hasn't been a part of these regularly, what we were doing was every Thursday from my house, every other Wednesday from here. We're switching it up. We're going to do every Monday from here, every other Thursday-ish from my house, but we might change that occasionally and come in here as well. I believe, Allie, stop me if I'm wrong, but I believe this Thursday, Allie and I are coming in here together, and we're going to recreate what I think was the best hors d'oeuvre I've ever had, and I had it at Allie's apartment during our conspiracy theory party. Denny, I did it again. It was hot honey bread with prosciutto, couple of different cheeses. Havarti was one of them, some apple slices. It was absolutely perfect. So Allie's going to come in and we're going to do that together. I will remember you chose my father over me. Yeah, Allie, I apologize, but it's not that hard of a, wasn't that hard of a choice. It was actually fairly easy. Ryan says he used a 3-letter word to describe you that no man. All right, so now it's just turned into a you two teaming up against me stream. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not afraid, although Allie does hold power over my employment, so maybe I should be, but I'm not. Hot honey sourdough, ham, no prosciutto. We should add prosciutto to it. Maybe we make it just a little bit better. Allie, I can't tell if you're talking to me or text, because I didn't slam you. I just said I liked your dad better than you. That's not an insult. It's just a fact. Aaron says, I bought the sweet Lebanon seasoning. Just an example. Could there be mention of how much brown sugar to add? So you're wanting to add brown sugar to the product. Is that what you're saying? Like you bought the prepackaged seasoning and you want to know how much brown sugar you should add to it. Unfortunately, that's going to be something that is, anytime you modify a seasoning, there's so much personal preference that goes into it that there's not really much of a recommendation we can do. The best thing I could tell you to do would be to split it up into a bunch of different batches, like small ones, like half a pound would be fine, and add different percentages of brown sugar to it, and then pan fry it. Just do it right on a griddle or in a pan. It's not gonna be exact, right? Because obviously smoking versus cooking on a griddle, but it's gonna get you close. It's gonna let you know, it's like, hey, this is way too sweet. Or, hey, this amount added nothing. So that's a unfortunate personal preference, like game you have to play there. No. Allie, you're misreading this, or you're overreacting to the fact that I picked Brett over you. He is Brett, after all. The man who ultimately signs my paychecks. Where is... Ugh. Allie, I told the story earlier of you catching that awesome pike. And I told them all what a good job you did. And you did. You stayed calm. I literally think I would have thrown down my pole after it got through the net. I really do think I would have lost that fish. I don't think I could have caught that. I think I would have freaked out. So you did an awesome job. I'll let it again Thursday. I don't know what that means. Willie Snack Sticks. What percentage could I add until it would be too much? Percentage of what? Brown sugar? Or are you asking like how much more Willies could you add to Willies? Because Willies has both a black pepper and a red pepper heat, but that wouldn't be your problem. If your question is how much more can you add per pound, your problem would be salt. Your salt content would get out of hand pretty quick. I would say, if that is your question, no more than 5% more. W2W. World II War? World War II, but you're dyslexic. I don't know what that means. Oh, Allie, I might have had a stroke. I can't make heads or tails of these. Willies to Willies. Oh, okay. Yeah, then just, I wouldn't go more than 5%. Again, your problem is going to be salt, which it will be with any cured sausage. Cured sausage has a higher salt content because we need salt to be a functional ingredient as well as a flavor ingredient. So it has a higher salt content. So just be careful with it because it definitely can cause problems. What are we gonna do for KSU versus Notre Dame this year? Allie, I kind of feel like the bet needs to be between Austin and I, but maybe you and I should have a side bet, Notre Dame versus KSU. Also, Ryan, that's cute that you guys are in the top 25. Yay! We were in the national championship game last year. A little bit different, you know, different, but same. What do you mean you haven't started football yet? Do you not just wait all year for football season to start like the rest of us? Yes, Ryan, we lost, but we got there is the important part. Also, if anyone watching is a Indianapolis Colts fan, I'm sorry, but I've been reading reports that Riley Leonard is the best quarterback that is in Colts training camp. So he's beating out Anthony Richardson, who was the first round pick from a couple of years ago, and Daniel Jones. If Riley Leonard starts for the Colts at quarterback this year, it's going to be a long year for the Colts. SO is Iowa State. Denny, how does one get assigned either Iowa or Iowa State fandom? Is it where you live in the state? Because you guys are fairly tribal about it. I know that. Personally, I'm an Iowa State guy. The reason being is I've gone to 2 short courses there. Yeah, 2 short courses there on meat processing and learned a lot. So Iowa State provided me with something. Iowa's done nothing for me. No, you don't choose. Nobody chooses. I didn't choose to be a Redskins or a Red Sox fan. It was told to me that that's who I was going to be. The best story on who became a fan, my brother-in-law, his whole family are huge Giants fans, and he wanted to piss his dad off. They were playing the Eagles, so at halftime, he's like, you know what? It's like, I'm rooting for the Eagles now. And he's been an Eagles fan the last 30 years after that. Now, the Eagles suck. I hate them badly, but I respect why you would choose the Eagles as your team, just out of spite. I like that. What shirt did he get? What is this? I don't like this. I don't like that there's conversations going on between the two of you that I'm not privy to. This bothers me greatly. Okay. If Austin already has thoughts on a bet, I'm down for it. As long as it's just the bet is straight up who finishes higher, I'm all the way in on that. Not to know yet. So the shirt is aimed at me. Of course it is. That's okay. I can take a joke. I won't cry too much. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it hard to go against that. Golf has been incredible since you guys brought him over. Now, you did lose Ben Johnson. And how much of Goff's resurgence was based on Ben Johnson's awesome coaching? I mean, none of it, right? Definitely some of it. So we'll see what happens with the Lions this year. However, had you guys not gotten decimated on defense last year, Jesus, we never would have beaten you. The Commanders never would have beaten a fully healthy Lions team. Just wouldn't have happened. But it's Austin's thing. Okay, well, I'll just wait for Austin. All right, guys, we're done. I'm almost positive we're going to be, Ali, we're going to be here on Thursday. Yeah, either way. We're going to have a live stream on Thursday. I think it's going to be from here. We're going to show you how to make legitimately maybe the best hors d'oeuvre I've ever had. And Ali will be leading that one, and I'll just be running around cleaning dishes and helping out. We'll see you guys.